Oh man, we're starting off the stream frozen? That must have froze right when I started it, because that's me looking down to make sure it's running. Let me try and reset the camera. Let me know if you could hear me. It shows like I'm having no problem with that. We'll give that a second. I'll say what's up in the meantime to everyone who's in here and the stuff we were already talking about. What's up, Large Marge, Broadford, Nicholas, Pudgy, Jay Dandy. Jay Dandy was saying it looked a little grainy last week, so basically what I had done, if you weren't here, is a hard reset on this computer because it's my secondary computer now, and I lost all my settings on all my software, obviously, because everything was deleted and reinstalled, and I messed up last week and I was streaming in 480, so that's why it looked grainy to a point. But then YouTube today told me I was streaming in too low of a bit rate, so I've hopefully also fixed that problem. I had done a bunch of tests when I was running the software whenever, like a long time ago when we started streaming down here, to see how fast and how high quality I could stream. And then I watched some YouTube tutorials and had everything set up. Of course, I didn't write all that stuff down. I wrote a few things down before I reset the computer, but I missed a couple. I thought the camera was freezing as part of that. This computer was just running too much stuff. I thought cleaning it would help. So apparently not. So I'll fix that here, hopefully. Anyways, so let's see, Rusty. What's up, Rusty? What's up, Rick? Pudgy was saying no good pics of his new bike. Yeah, and I've missed. I know I saw like a little bit of what you had posted in the Discord. I didn't even. I'm not even sure what you got yet because I've been so busy. I had two events. No, uh, I was just busy all weekend shooting events. So yeah, Pudgy said he could hear me. That's good. Patrick, hey, what's up, man? He said he's still working, but listening in. Listening in right now is all you can do because it's me just staring at about the settings I'm about to switch. So needs. Pudgy said needs a harder reset. Yeah, I mean the computer is a Dell Tower, and the main components are nice. You know, the graphics card, the CPU. But as Funny Brad has told me, the way Dell saves money is all the parts in between are pretty much garbage. But it's a computer that got a ton of hard use. It's like the computer I, was doing tons of heavy video editing on, all my photo processing for a few years. That's why I went and got a custom machine from a different company that does stuff specifically for photo editing, what I use upstairs. So hopefully that is a computer that lasts me a lot longer. I think I only got 3 years out of this guy, but Industrial Gravel Podcast. let me let me see what I could do to try and bring the camera back. So yeah, we had this problem and then did the hard reset, and last week there was no problem. So I'm surprised. I thought we would be fine. Yep. My software is actually going down again, unfortunately. So let me know if you stop being able to hear me, because we could do what we did a couple weeks ago, which is just look, at stuff on the Discord and stuff on the internet, and I could just close out the photos of myself completely, or the video of myself completely. But now I'm getting I know they call it on Mac the spinning wheel of death, but I'm getting the Windows 10 version of that, which is the little blue donut that spins around. Jay Dandy says maps. Yeah, for sure. Again, if someone could let me know if you could still hear me, just because the software is not letting me do anything, which could also be a problem because I won't be able to click around on to the maps because I can't switch scenes, which means I'll probably have to shut it down where you won't be able to hear me for a minute and bring it back on. But it should come back into the stream because it worked like that last time. So I could also look at what YouTube's telling me, see if YouTube tells me the stream is still running, I believe. Yeah, YouTube shows that the stream is up. I'm going to have to close out the software Oh, you can still hear me? All right. Cool. Well, it's going to be a second where you actually can't because you can still hear me, but I can't do anything besides talk. So let me. You hear me, but I'm not saying anything for sure. Give me 1 second to close out OBS, which is the streaming software. The chat should stay up, but you won't be able to hear me for about, I don't know, as long as it takes to close this and restart it. All right. I think we're back, right? Yep, we should be back on. And now the camera's working for now, but when this happened last time, it kept freezing up. So I can imagine it's going to fail again. It's not the camera, it's something with the software or the computer. But back now, good. I think we should be good to go. Like I said, the camera software might freeze up again, but we should be good to go on at least streaming and looking at stuff. So Obsolescence asked how I was holding so still. Yeah. It's interesting too because that freeze frame must have been like right when I like switched over from the intro to myself because it's me like staring intently at the computer, which is pretty funny. But yeah, so we were. Let's go over to the bike pics. I was looking at Rick was saying he did 52 days in a row. Let's see if I can get this up here. There we go. Where were you saying this was? Did 50 on Sunday, rounding out 50 today at Penn's Landing near Park Center City in Philly. Public hammocks. Oh, that's cool. My friend Kyle, who works for the Knight Foundation here in Akron, he's the program director. There's a Knight Foundation. They're obviously active in Philly too, and I know they've done some public spaces. This looks like something they might do. I wonder if they're involved in that at all. They do it through the Civic Commons program. That's a pretty cool concept. I like it. Whenever something like this goes in, I'm always worried that they're going to maintain it because that's important too. Like, you need to take these down in the winter. They probably obviously have to be laundered once in a while on a rainy year like this has been, so they're not sitting there all moldy. But our Summit Lake here in Akron. And this is Jay Dandy's from earlier. What skate park is this, Jay Dandy? I know, I think it was Nicholas was asking you about that. But is this the one that's like at the back of a neighborhood with a little bike path that goes through there? I think I made a video over here once if it's the one I'm thinking of. Which would be, yeah, I'm not sure if it's in Kent proper, but it's close to there off the Freedom Trail. Oh, Malk's up in here? I didn't see his comment. Do I not? Oh, it went back to top chat. I had it on live chat earlier. Oh, Malk said ahoy. What's up, man? Yeah. Pudgy was saying he has the Specialized Fuse 27.5. That's the mountain bike he picked up. He hasn't taken any pictures of it yet, but we could still look up a picture of one. Ah, so something like that. How Jay Dandy said that skate park is in Kent. Is it? Yeah. Hey, what's up, Blackball? How you doing? Thanks, Rick. Air Dandy. Oh yeah, who else posted some ride photos earlier? Was that before here? Oh, there's this from the other day, but Blackball's bike. That's a lot of seat post, isn't it? Is that just, well, that's more than just the wide angle effect, right? Got that pretty slammed, huh? You said those are 33 gravel tires on there too? Let's see. New rubber on the Swiss Cross Challenge Gravel Grinder 700 by 33s. Huh, I'm not familiar with those tires. Zoom in on. Oh, they look cool. I do like how they kind of just got the slight grip in the center, but then the side knobbies. Yeah, those look like cool tires. Couple new messages. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Rusty was out. Did he say that was today? And I love that scenery out there. The mountains in the background look so cool. Oh, yeah, there he is up in the mountains. Open a bigger version of that. Oh, what? I know we've talked about what. I can't remember what bar those are with the little like extension in the center. I forgot about those. I know we shared them before, but oh, he said some pics from the mountain bike race he did this weekend. Nice. Hey, what's up, traveling through? Rick said, "Screw Dura-Ace. Let's talk about Bromptons. Let's talk about Bromptons with Dura-Ace." Oh, okay. Jay Dandy was talking about where I thought his bike photo was from, and it's exactly where it was. There was just one day last, man, now how long ago? I don't know. I just went out for a solo ride, and I turned away. I never do off the Freedom Trail, and I ended up seeing that skate park and just kind of cruising around, like very gently up the ramps where Jay Dandy had his whoops, bumped that mic, bike photo, and yeah, just started to see some trails back there, rode along them, and then found that all that stuff is pretty cool. Dylan said challenge tires are interesting, seem super supple. Was going to get some for his road bike, but ended up giving Jan Hein his money. Yeah. Oh, and then Blackball was saying he's 6'3", which that's why he's got the seat post so high on this one. That makes sense for sure. Dylan said the same thing I did. Let's talk Dura-Ace on Bromptons. Oh, Rusty said that's the Redshift kitchen sink bar. That's where I remembered. Someone else had just brought that up. My corner bar video that they were running the kitchen sink, but that they might do a old mountain bike to gravel bike conversion with the corner bars because they thought they were pretty cool too. Pull that back up. Where was that photo? Oh, there we go. That's why I was looking them up. Yeah, someone had posted it or talked about it on that. Are you 6'2", Rick? Huh. I mean, I know we met in person. I guess I didn't realize you were that tall. You're taller than me. I'm 6'1", probably about, I'd guess. You have to wait till the border opens till you guys can fight. This phone out of my pocket. Rick asked if I'm digging the corner bar, and he said the bike thing, not the drinking thing. Yeah, I need to. Really, I went out and did the ride where I made the video. I did a test ride before that, and I've only ridden it one other time because just the riding I've been doing lately there's been too much road. So I was even thinking of, with it having, we've had a couple days where it hasn't rained and it's not supposed to rain. I really want to go out and ride it to the mountain bike trails, Hampton Hills, and ride it on the mountain bike trails. So to kind of give me that feeling, if, because that is what would be cool about it to me. One of the reasons I don't like riding the mountain bike trails is because I have to ride, either ride my Raleigh there and be slightly underbiked. My Raleigh handles Hampton fine, but I'm not going to drive there. So I was thinking like maybe it would be kind of like a cool thing to get to the mountain bike trails and then ride the trails like that. So kind of waiting for that to get more experience on it. But I haven't just done, with all the rain we've had, I haven't been doing a bunch of gravel rides where the bike would actually be the bike to ride. So yeah, I don't have enough experience. I really dug it. Like when I made the video, I was enjoying it, but I definitely need to get more experience on it. But like I did say in the video, I was just absolutely amazed of how natural the corner bars felt, even with the flat bar shifters. Like, I didn't have to think about it. Like, my hand placement just fell. Like, I was riding on the tops when that felt natural, and the front and shifting without thinking about it. Oh, looks like we paused for a second. Yeah. I think we should be back now. Okay, cool. Weird night. Got a warning that I've never seen before. So, yeah. I was just saying I pulled this image back up. Well, I realized I am covering with the part of the bike I'm trying to show. Oh, there we go. Yeah, Rusty was saying that these are the best bars he's ever ridden. So they have a little bit of rise, and then they have that like little kind of, for lack of a better word, like arrow segment. Yeah, I don't know. What a weird. The last few weeks, just weird stuff been happening down here. No idea why, but that's how it goes sometimes. Rusty posted a drink pic too. I haven't no other drink pics yet tonight. I haven't showed what I'm drinking, but what is Rusty? Tombstone Brewing BA Start. Oh, that's a great name. Triple IPA, 10%. Dang. I think Rusty's comments will be coming in hot here in a minute, right? Oh, Dylan asked about those bars. Like, you don't want to wrap the arrow bar part. Let's see what Rust. And Windows just keeps trying to do stuff, which is really annoying me. But so Rusty said he ran out of bar tape, got lazy, haven't got it back around to it yet. Yeah, I could feel like I would probably wrap them, but I don't think it'd like be a big deal because where your arms are sitting in that position, and you'd probably be resting on your forearms a little bit. I don't think you'd be gripping it that tight, right? If you were in that position, would you? But yeah, I'd still end up wrapping it eventually. Hey, what's up, Obsolescence? Obsolescence says his neighbor. This is all chat stuff, but his neighbor sparred with Mike Tyson and got knocked out. Almost everyone who spars with Mike Tyson gets knocked out, right? If you actually fight Mike Tyson, you get knocked out. Rusty said he usually grips hand over hand on the very front end. Let's take another. I need to look at those to picture it. I thought I still had it open here. Nope, I don't. Oh, so putting your hands like in the center there is what you're saying. I could see doing that. I ride my Raleigh sometimes with my hands just resting, not my four, not my hands, my forearms resting just on the bars, like you see the outlawed UCI position. So I could see where those would be kind of a cool, a definitely cool shape if you weren't trying to have any kind of. Well, I get you could still put a handlebar bag on there. You just wouldn't. It would have to have a front zip. So like my Frost River would still work on there, whereas my like Catalyst or Zeitgeist would not work on the front there because you have to flip them open. But there are still bar bags that could work on that setup. It looks like. Large Mars rides. So you guys are talking about. So they were talking about Mike Tyson has an abandoned mansion in Ohio. Uh, Micah, genuine article, the graphic designer, he was on, talked about doing the Fool's Loop, and me and him are actually working on a couple design projects together right now. Some that'll hopefully be revealed on this channel, and members will be able to get some free swag out of, and then a couple other artistic projects that he has proposals in for around town that have to do with the towpath, unrelated to this channel. But he needs to tell the story because I'm not going to remember it exactly. But he took an art class because he just he just stopped being the art director at Hoban and teaching art. He's just doing it part time. He's gone full time into his genuine article business, doing design work and screen printing and stuff like that. But took a class to Tyson's mansion, and I don't know if they climbed the fence or what they did, but basically he got busted with a bunch of high school students for trespassing. We will have to get we'll, we'll have to get Mike on to tell this story now that it's just because it's come up in the chat. It'd be funny, and Micah should come back on anyways because he's such a good storyteller and interesting person. But yeah, maybe that's a teaser for that. But yeah, Micah actually got arrested somehow with high school students in conjunction with Mike Tyson's abandoned mansion in Ohio. So yeah, Rick said swag. Yeah, I know I'm behind on a lot of the member stuff, but I'm working on it. As I built the new website too, I have a new way to do direct retail instead of just the print on demand stuff. So getting all that done. But like I said, summer is for riding. So all my promises from the spring kind of fade away as I just want to ride my bike all the time. So, but yeah, there's still stuff in the works. I didn't forget about any of the stuff I want to do. But hey, what's up, D'Amico? He said Micah's a hell of a baseball player too. Did you guys did you guys play in the was that the Devil Strip stuff that you would have played with Mike on? Rusty, I'm guessing that's a song lyric reference that I'm not getting. I think it's Fly When Girls Stop By for the summer. Well, everyone else is getting the reference besides me, apparently, which is not unusual. Oh, wait, that was softball, right? Devil Strip had a softball team that they fielded for a while. What's Rick drinking here? Looks like he's got a hard seltzer. Can't see exactly what it is, but if that's what's in the glass, it's extremely clear. And his vape pens, of course. Oh, this was, I think, Marge's from uh, a daytime drink he had over at the bar next to the bike shop. He said that was Bearded Iris Scatterbrain Double IPA, which I'm not familiar with. I'll have to get over there and try that. Chris posted a black ball, a couple photos from his ride tonight on the bike we were looking at on the Ritchie. Man, don't those look wider than 33s? I wonder what they would measure out to on a caliper. Oh yeah, we have all the. I was riding tonight. All those black-eyed Susans. Black-eyed Susans. Is that the right term? Black-eyed Susans. Why doesn't that sound right? Whatever those wildflowers. When I was riding tonight, there's a ton of those now around Akron and in the Cuyahoga Valley as well. Jay Dandy says he sat in front of Mike Tyson at a World Series game. Nice. Blackball said the Challenge 33 millimeters look identical to their 38 millimeters. Huh. Rick was saying, how could he run that slammed on dirt? But if he's that tall, too, I mean, you got to proportionally, I'm sure your arms are, that long as well. But that would be where a dropper would be nice. Rick said he peed next to Linda Carter at a concert. I actually tonight I was coming home from I stopped by the bike shop and then I rode out to take some photos and I'm working on a new video with what I got from the bike shop, which we could talk about later. But and the Civic Theater, our old like historic theater right on Main Street, had like the sign was on and everything, but I just saw people walking everywhere around downtown and I'm like, what's going on down here? So I diverted off the towpath and onto Main Street, and Brit Floyd, Pink Floyd cover band is playing in Akron tonight, and like it must have been just about doors time because people were walking in from everywhere. And if you live in Philly or Toronto, it's probably not unusual to see people walking in your downtown. But in Akron on a Tuesday night when people are walking everywhere, it's weird. And I was like, I really stopped to be like, what's going on? And then when I saw the marquee that said Brit Floyd, it made sense. And I was talking to Aaron on the phone and I was like, it's quite a diverse group of people. Then I was like, diverse is the wrong word. They're all white people, but like quite a spread of white people. There were some families. There were a lot of older couples, but there were some younger people. A lot of Dark Side of the Moon T-shirts, that kind of. But I saw like a line at a couple of the restaurants that would never be that busy on a Tuesday. I'm like, man, Brit Floyd brings them in apparently. So. Malk said Brit Floyd is a big deal in Denver. They're a big deal in Akron too. I'll tell you, man. Tonight it was nuts. How's Alejandro? Oh, hey, what's up, Alejandro? Oh, it's got to be super late there now, right? Yeah, I'm trying to. It's almost what a 9-hour time difference to Spain. It's beyond super late, isn't it? Almost super early in the morning. Throw a new pick in the. Rick was saying, does anyone know what bars are on his Rivendell? Throw a new pick in the Discord, Rick, and I'll pull it up so I don't have to go try and scroll back through 1,000 posts. Yeah, Pudgy, I'm sure at that Brit Floyd there's lots of jazz cabbage, but. Alejandro, did you post a pic? Did you get out to see? I can't remember now. A couple friends from Cleveland, the Joy Machines bike shop, were actually in Spain, and they saw a couple stages of the Vuelta. Did you post any pictures of catching the Vuelta yet, or has it not come by where you are? I'm trying to remember. I watched so much Vuelta content that I can't remember if you posted some of that or not. Oh, so Spain, where he is in Spain, is 6 hours from Eastern. So not quite as, yeah, not quite as crazy as I thought, but still, yeah, extremely late. It's 9:30. Yeah, so 3:30 in the morning. 9 hours from Pacific, not specific. Oh, there's D'Amico with Micah's baseball team. Oh yeah, I know a lot of these guys. We got, oh yeah, Justin Ball. So this guy, me and him were roommates for about a year. Um, that's Steve, Dave Whitehead, who was in one of my favorite bands, House Guest. Keith, who's a musician that I've done a number of photos with. There's Micah, and then Taylor, Taylor, who I just saw when I was riding through Highland Square on Friday night, or maybe Thursday. Oh yeah, Wes Hollandoner here in the back, who I went to Louisville with in the spring. I made a video about that trip, and wow, yeah, this is quite the team. And it's probably I'm just not recognizing the face of the other one. Is this Oh, come on. Is that Matt Horak, the artist? Very cool. Oh, new
Matt
subscriber.
Banbury
Nice.
subscribed to the channel.
Oh, Alejandro, you saw stage 8 of the Giro. Very cool. Nice. I've been in Giro, the Vuelta a España. I've been enjoying the race a lot. Like, I don't think the general classification has been that exciting, but every single stage has pretty much been exciting. Like every stage finish, plus having a couple with Magnus Cort from EF winning and almost winning one has been huge to me. Their season had been a little bit weak, so yeah, to see him get a couple Vuelta stage wins was awesome. So Thomas said he's in China and it's 9:31 a.m. So yeah, that's completely the opposite end of this other end of the spectrum. Yeah, Alejandro, do yeah, drop some stuff in there. So Malk, you're not in London. Oh, D'Amico was saying the baseball photos were 2009. I thought those felt like kind of old. Yeah. Thomas, don't listen to him. He's not in London. He's in London, Ohio, not London, England. Oh, Pudgy already said that. Oh, that was Matt Hork, D'Amico. Cool, yeah. Oh, the Erie Island. Yeah. Me and Large rode out early in the spring to Erie Island. That's the school is now completely trashed. It's like they left it for abandoned. But Rusty, you and your anti-road racing antics. Oh, Rick dropped a picture of the handlebars. Let's see if any of you guys can identify these. Just looking at them, I don't know which ones they are, but I wonder if even that red. Does that say what they are right there? Oh, it says heat treated. Oh, they're Nitos. They're definitely Nitos. So we at least got the brand right there. And I know you guys, right? You've told me the pronunciation is Nito, not Nito. I bet you can narrow it down on the Crust website from that. Let's see. Alejandro said his man Valverde crashed on stage 7. Yeah, he had to drop out of the race. And then he said, so we were gypped. So, Alejandro, gypped is a word that has definitely been canceled because it comes from gypsy, as you may or may not know. So, I think if you spelled it, it would be Gypped. But so basically, it comes from the Roma. Say you got gypped is like a racial slur against the Roma, whether anyone cares about that or not. So it's a word we grew up saying all the time, but I've dropped from my vocabulary for that reason. I have a I have a couple friends who are Roma. So Thomas said, "Can I find a job in Ohio?" Um, well, if you want to work in the service industry, you could find a job anywhere in the United States of America right now because there's an absolute huge shortage. It just depends on what you're trying to do. Ohio is a shrinking state. It depends. You either need to be very specialized in what you do, or you need to want to work in the service industry. So, you know, Ohio has a lot of machine shops and manufacturing still in a certain way, like specialized manufacturing. So, Large thinks that those bars are the Nito albatrosses. So let's see if we could. Let's look it up. I bought this vintage keyboard down here. You could probably hear it typing. There, get that spell checker. Oh, could that be it? That sweep's different, right? We got to see it from the top. I think those are a little different, right? Because the albatrosses are coming back farther and more straight. Well, with the grips is probably throwing visually off too, and one could be a different kind of lens. They're pretty similar, but I don't think they're them, but I could be wrong. Let's see where parts. Let's see what else they got up there. Definitely not those, but those are super sweet too. What about these ones? Let's see if there's a top-down view of them. Nah, I don't think it's those either, is it? Pudgy says he says Nitto, not Nito. I had always said I had always said Nitto, but I thought you guys corrected me that it was Nito. Okay, I'll go back to Nitto. Someone typed Nito on one of the streams, and that stuck in my head. So J. Eames said State Flower of Maryland. I don't know what that means. Isn't it the same state flower as here? I believe it is. Rusty asked if anyone here watches Not Just Bikes on YouTube. I haven't, but they don't make so many bars, and then so many companies contract them to make their bars. It's endless. Yeah, but Rick's bars actually do have a Nitto sticker on them. So Alejandro said he didn't know that about the Roma. Yeah, so the term gypsy in the U.S. is about Romas. Yeah. So when I was growing up, my grandma warned me about gypsies. That was like a big thing. Like roaming gypsies were like something you had to worry about. Like, it must be like some Great Depression era thing that just stuck. Is my grandma's side of the family is Hungarian, so the Roma have never had like a true, or I don't know when the last time they did, but a true home. So they kind of roamed around Eastern Europe, right? But of course, like the U.S. with everything else, we have to stereotype and turn it into something. But oh, I have. Okay, you guys are talking about not just bikes. They've been popping up in my recommendations, Rusty, and I watched. I did watch one of their urban planning videos. If you're interested, Rusty, another a great thing. They don't make very produced videos. They're more like interviewee, like podcast type things. But Strong Towns and the founder of Strong Towns has written a book that is like fascinating. I've seen him speak, and since my friend that I referenced a little earlier from the Knight Foundation brought him to town to speak, and then I got to have dinner with just him and my friend. Like I was photographing the event, and then Kyle was like, "Hey, we're going to get dinner after this at the hotel he's staying at. Do you want to come along?" And it was really interesting and fascinating to talk to that guy about urban planning as well. And he goes back into like historical about how, cities have been designed since the beginning of civilization in almost just one main way, and how the 50s and the car culture onward are an aberration on that, like an unpeople friendly and unsustainable way to design a city, and that until we refind our footing, we're gonna have lots of problems. Basically, really interesting stuff though to me. If you like urban planning stuff, which I do too, so. Oh, Rusty said he's ahead of me on Strong Towns. Awesome. Oh yeah, glad you dig that stuff too. There's another YouTube channel I follow that does really good urban planning stuff. It's not Strong Towns or not just bikes. Huh. I just watched a video on the pedestrian mall thing that the city I'm in now, Cuyahoga Falls, even though I still tend to identify more with Akron. It's just who I am. But Cuyahoga Falls put in one of the pedestrian malls in the 70s, which was one of the horrible ones, which ended up being a detriment because they tried to use it to compete with the suburbs. As you'll see, they do work in certain places. Ithaca, New York, put one in, and it's better down there now. And Times Square in New York, they make sense in some places and not others, but that's been another really interesting thing to learn about. So, City Beautiful, you're right, Rusty, City Beautiful, yeah. Oh, Rick said he dropped a bar comparison. Yeah, I think you're right. Seeing it from the top down with the grips. Here, let me get this up here. I mean, all that work and you couldn't have turned them in the same direction. Oh, that is. You have it in the overlay there. Yep. I think those are them. Just a different focal length on the camera, right? That makes the flare look different. Cool. See, we're a small group, but we could still crowdsource some stuff and figure stuff out. I like it. Alejandro said Lewis Mumford is the man to read the city and history. Huh. I will check that out. Actually, I will write that down so I don't forget it like I always, instead of just saying that. We also, Knight also brought, he's become kind of a popular public speaker. He's the parks director for New York City. And so he was the one who's been like doing more of the bump outs and turning overbuilt streets into public spaces. And he is a fascinating guy as well. I'm not going to think of his name without Googling it, but I watched him speak, and then I've read some columns that he's written for not the Knight Foundation, but Knight, who's brought him to town, but he's done work with one of their partners on Civic Commons, and I can't think of the name right now. Civic Commons is where the Knight's putting money in Philadelphia as well for public spaces. but he's a really interesting guy as well. It'll come to me, I think, but Anders Eriksson said, "Hail Ham Beanie." I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's some mean thing or not. Strodes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've definitely seen some stuff about that as well. Let me... Do we have... What is... I don't know what Hambin is. So Mike Tyson on a Strode. Hey Rick, as Funny Brad would say, he loves a good callback. Oh, Bambini is a YouTuber. Yeah, I'll have to look that up too. I'm not familiar. I mean, there's so much stuff, obviously. Oh, Ham Beanie. Wait, what? Ham Beanie, not Bambini. Bambini. Get all the stereotypes out here. Let's do the members video a little early because I want to grab another beer. And I also want to grab the new tires I just bought. I know I titled this the Dura-Ace thing, but that was just a good thumbnail photo. We could talk about it if you guys want to after the break too, but I always like, if the conversation has somewhere to go, there's no reason to force it in some other direction. There's going to be plenty of talk about the new Dura-Ace for the next months. But yeah. Yeah, the great Bambino. Hey, what's up, William LeBron? Oh, yeah, yeah. Never any reason to worry about being late if you're out riding your bike. So, all right, let me clickbait. Yeah, this is that is pretty clickbait. You know, I'll probably get a lot of like 1 second views on this stream from people being like, "Oh, does this guy got the new Dura-Ace?" But yeah. All right, let's do the members video. I'm gonna grab another beer.
I just want to take a quick moment during this break to thank our channel members. Their financial support really does make it possible to do this many live streams and produce this many videos. So thanks a lot. If you're interested in joining, we could drop a link on the screen in the chat right now that you could check out and follow that link and join the channel and get some special perks too. Anyways, thanks to everybody else too for tuning in. I really enjoyed doing this. Check out the merch store and also drop a like on this video. Thanks, every little bit helps. We will be back in a couple minutes.
I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat. Give me tune a boat. I wanna tune a boat.
No audio. Yep. Whoops. I'm back. I remembered to turn the volume back on now. Man, got a lot going on here. Oh, what I was saying before I had any audio on, I was saying, Pudgy, I didn't remember. We should be back now. All right, yeah, we're back. Windows is giving me a notification that the streaming software is disconnecting once in a while. No idea why. Never happened before. Spinning wheel got to go round. Yeah. Yeah. That's a new one. So the camera freezing up, that's an old one. Oh, it looks like the camera actually... No, it didn't freeze up good. But... Yeah, what I was saying is I didn't know if Pudgy... I don't remember you saying you were setting out to buy a new mountain bike, so I was interested to see that. That's what you ended up getting. Is that a slur? Oh, Broadford asked if it's recording in the background. Yeah. Handsome devil with a cool mountain bike. Yeah, I definitely... Like I said, I'll go back through the settings. I'll do all the stuff I did to set this up originally. Hopefully get it fixed. Like I said, the computer should be running better because it's running nothing but streaming software, and browsers. But you would hope it has the power to pull that off. It's one thing when I mess up and forget to turn the audio back on. It's like, whatever. When something out of my control happens, that's more annoying to me, you know. Oh, Broadford said that's his early GoPro joke. God, my GoPro 9 gave me fits with the video I posted this morning on the coffee ride. I went to get a friend to do a cool shot with him, and a typical GoPro fail. I'm riding, it's starting to rain, I have to pull the battery, put the battery back in. I can't believe they still can't get that stuff worked out. The specs of the new GoPro 10 actually leaked onto the internet this week as well. It looks like it's going to be a minor upgrade cycle. It's going to be like the 9, but with a better processor. So it's supposed to be slightly upgraded resolution, slightly better stabilization, which is already so good, obviously. But looks like a pretty minor upgrade that if you already have a 9, it's one you could skip. But if you have maybe an 8 or a 7 or a 6, it might be worthwhile. But Pudgy said the shop that he's been helping out made him an offer on the Jameis he couldn't refuse. Good, because you've been talking about selling that for a long time. So to switch the Jameis out for something that you want more, that's pretty cool. Nice, Malk. Refuse. Oh, so basically you don't want to ride the Bear Claw Pudgy as a mountain bike, so getting an actual mountain bike, yeah. Rick, you said you haven't had any GoPro 9 issues? Mine are the exact same issues I've had with every... So I've had the 5, the 8, and the 9. And it's just the same issues that I've had where occasionally you press record, power, nothing happens. The only thing to fix it is pull the battery and put it back in. And once in a while, a broken file, which thank God hasn't happened to me on something like on a longer clip that I've shot. So... Yeah, they still have the same software issues, though. Same touchscreen. They've never fixed that touchscreen to be more usable since they first implemented it. Another new subscriber. Nice.
Brad Wade subscribed to the channel.
Alejandro was saying his GoPro 8 stopped shooting time lapses. What can he do to reload software? Make sure you're updated to the latest, first of all. Like, they do most of the updates to the app now. You could still plug it into the computer, but I would go to the app on your phone, connect it, and try and see if you can update it, Alejandro. My GoPro 8 started losing features, and then it stopped working completely, but it was still their warranty, I think, from GoPro is a year. I actually sent it back, and they sent me a new GoPro Hero 8 when I was still within that 1 year period. If not, I would definitely try to just update it, and if not, reach out to them about what you can do. But yeah, it's weird. Yeah, the 8, same thing. It just started like certain things wouldn't work, and then it just bricked and couldn't fix it. So did Brad jump in here? I didn't see him. Malk said he was surprised how crappy his 9 footage looked at 1080. So Malk, I was with your video, like I really liked your video, by the way, Malk, that you posted of the ride you did. If you upload to YouTube at 1080, the bit rate is way too low to look good on YouTube anymore. And I've brought this up, I think, in the Discord. But even if you shoot in 1080 to save card space, export it into 4K at like 40, what would that be, kilobytes a second? But you need to upload to YouTube in 4K, even if you didn't shoot in 4K, to really make it look better. Like Malk, in your video, that one shot where you have that dark sky ahead of you, the sky is completely pixelated, and I'm guessing it didn't look that way on your computer. But the other thing to do is up the bit rate on the 9 in the settings of the 9. So the 9 comes out of the box with a, if you just use the regular 1080 setting, it's fairly low bit rate. Same with the 4K. And so go into the settings and up the bit rate on the GoPro itself as well. But then definitely export at a higher setting. YouTube just gives you way more bandwidth if you upload in 4K, and it looks better even if it wasn't true 4K. 100%, especially for what we're doing. Like if you shoot an interview with someone sitting at a desk and upload it in 1080, it'll look fine, but the action stuff looks horrible. So and then also, Malk, I think you were shooting at a frame rate that was too fast. It looked like maybe you were shooting at 60 FPS. That's like what Lucas Brunel does and stuff like that. I don't like the look. I like a cinematic look. And if the GoPro is going to be mostly straight or pointed at a bite next to you, I would go with 24 frames a second. That's what I always like. You can go 30. I still think 24 looks better. The only way that has a weakness with GoPros is if you pan. It doesn't seem like the sensor could scan a pan fast enough, or maybe it's the stabilization software that messes up. But I was noticing in the coffee ride video I posted today, when we're just sitting there and I do like a pan around, it looks really bad on the eyes, and that's something I'm gonna have to keep in mind. But if you're just riding and pointing it ahead of you, behind you, or someone next to you, I always like 24 frames a second. It has that cinematic look, and I just way prefer that over higher frame rates that look like soap operas, or it looks like it was meant to be shot in slow-mo and you didn't put it into slow-mo. But oh, Dylan was saying it's megabits per second, not kilobits per second, by the way. But I find the minimum that looks good for YouTube is 40 megabits a second. And Dylan was also saying that if you're going to upscale a video on export, I remember him telling me this, to use the 2-pass instead of 1-pass. So So Rick asked me export from what? Wait, what is NLE? I'm not sure what you mean by NLE. G. Dandy was saying I was told there would be maps. Yeah, Malk, if you're not going to pan around or like, yes, definitely like 60 frames for action. Riding down a bike path, 24 still looks better. I've never seen almost anything look better in 60 frames. Maybe if you were doing like totally gnarly mountain biking, but riding down the bike path, shoot it in 24 frames a second, trust me. And no, Malk, you cannot. I think if you want your footage, so he asked, can you slow motion 24 frames a second? You can artificially slow motion it. Premiere, and if you use something different like I've never used DaVinci, but they will. You can use optical flow to fill in frames. I did that once in a video where I just needed something in slow motion because I shot a bunch of other stuff in it. It filled in like some of the outside frames really weirdly, but it was just a split second. It was enough that I figured people were only going to be looking at the main subject, which it did a good job on. But no, I would never try to slow-mo 24. The thing to do is know. You just need to know when you want slow motion and know when you don't. I'm very conscious of it. I have it in the presets of the GoPro Hero 9. So like when it started raining on the coffee ride, I'm like, I'm going to want some slow motion footage of this. I change it to the 120 FPS. 120 looks the best in slow motion. 60 you could get by and then fake it even more with optical flow, but 120 is going to always look better for slow motion. 24 to me always looks better for regular motion, but no, it's better to know what you want to do instead of trying to cheat and have them both options. I think that's why Lucas does it. I think he shoots in a fast frame rate because he always thinks maybe I'll want slow motion. It doesn't work that way. You know, I don't think it works that way if you want it to look good. So oh, Rick uses Final Cut. That's right. We could be looking at maps while chatting camera stuff, just saying. Yeah, and Malk, it doesn't take away from your video. It's like, I would think like most viewers aren't going to be bothered by a little bit of pixelation or a frame rate that doesn't look as cinematic. Just as someone who's now, well, I mean, I do it professionally in that I want to look as good as possible. But even with YouTube, to me, it's like every little thing you do to be better adds up to be better. So storytelling is still key. The fact that like, well, you were actually talking to the riders around you and like making a story, which is a lot of times not even what I do just because I don't feel like it, but makes for a better video. It's more important than the technical stuff for sure. You could shoot YouTube videos with your iPhone, you know, if you're telling a good story and no one's going to be mad about it. I'm just saying if you're bringing everything to the highest level you want, you know, there's some tips from doing it forever that I like to do. But again, I don't think it's going to change your view count whether you shoot in 60 frames a second or 24 frames a second, you know. Like you were saying, you noticed it didn't look quite as well. So yeah, so I've never used DaVinci, but I know I've watched videos about DaVinci, and I know other people talking about the software that it has all the same capabilities. So sorry I missed your whole bike bag thing, Rusty, and I saw that you were probably coming to Ohio, but I totally, you know me, I could nerd out about camera stuff forever. That's my, you know. Did my mouse go to sleep? All right. Wow, this thing does not want to give me Shimano's corporate headquarters. I tried like 5 things before I pulled it up, but it's just showing me all the places that sell. What do you think I need to type to find like Shimano's corporate headquarters? Shimano bikes. Ah, I didn't get the space in there. Nope. Google Maps is screwing me based on my search history, basically. Do we just have to go to Japan manually? There we go. That was worth a try. No dice. Try to get some maps up there, but oh, Jay Danny, it's funny. I don't know if I don't think I've ever talked about, where was I? Oh, Chicago. I like maps too. I think I've posted a photo in Discord, but over in my bedroom I actually have a map of Akron that's from, I think, the 50s. I bought it at an estate sale hanging. One of those like school maps that pull down with the roll thing. I obviously don't have the holster for it, so I just have it hanging on a couple nails. But I love it because I actually use it to find some of the industrial gravel routes, because I'll find roads on the maps that don't exist anymore, or rail lines that don't exist anymore, and that's how we found some of the gravel routes we do. But I was in Chicago at the Field Museum, which is their huge like the Met in New York, and there happened to be a maps exhibit there, and I was like totally fascinated with it. It was really cool because like they showed how London invented kind of the subway map we all take for granted now. And I've actually watched YouTube videos about maps. I actually do really like maps as well. So oh, Pudgy, it's funny. So Pudgy says they probably have a few headquarters. They do bikes, fishing, and many other ventures. When I wanted to get I was trying to find the Dura-Ace video that I saw on like GP Llama, and it must have went out with the press release for Dura-Ace. I just typed in Shimano, thinking that it would come up. Going to their main website, yeah, is very boring web 2 like 1.0 with like, yeah, fishing reels and all this stuff, and like very not very graphic and all that. It's like bikes.shimano to actually get to the bike website, and then even that is hard to navigate in a way. I mean, I don't think Shimano sells a lot of stuff directly, so they probably don't have to have that kind of website built. I don't know. It's really weird though. New sub channel all about maps. Oh, J Danny, old maps, yeah. Yeah, that the Chicago Field Museum exhibit was fascinating. I was having a blast with that. Oh, wait. There's actually a Shimano. Well, Shimano is not named after a place, it's named after a person. but there is a Shimano in Japan that is right here. This would be better in satellite. Wait, there we go. Looks like a very small place, a little like fishing town or something. But there is a barbecue spelled wrong restaurant. And an e-room. Oh, there's another Shimano. Are they just showing us like places that... Oh, they're all over the place. What is this? Oh yeah, that's actually the logo there. There must be stores, like retail spaces for Shimano. Like whether it's fishing or... Where's my little guy? Where's that little guy you could throw down there to see Street View? Oh. Apartments on that side. Now we're in the maps. Yeah, you're right, Pudgy. Shimano buildings. Pudgy says they don't want their site to be welcoming, so you go to the dealer's site and leave them alone. Rusty said he bets SRAM's headquarters is better. Hasn't anyone Googled me the Shimano headquarters location yet? Is SRAM in Chicago? I guess I've never thought. I know they're American. For some reason, I always thought they were West Coast. I did not know SRAM was in Chicago. Let's see if we can Google that. SRAM headquarters. All right, we need to clear out of this first. So they're showing up here. SRAM corporate office. Let's see where we are. Let's get a bearings in Chicago. Okay, Navy Pier. Groupon headquarters. Everyone knows where that is, obviously. Oh, University of Chicago. Let's see. Goose Island. Yeah, rough idea. Here's the river. Rough idea of where that is. I've been to Chicago only once, but... World Bicycle Relief. Right there, too. GCN. I don't think this is a corporate headquarters, is it? This looks like it's just a store. Let's get the little guy out there. These are new. Have you guys ever seen this before? How it's letting you... Or maybe it's just in the bigger cities. Well, that could be new. They would roll it out in the bigger cities first. These little things you could click on to see what's around. This is Maps, the other YouTube channel I was talking about. Should I? No, I don't need another YouTube channel. This channel is the Maps channel when we're live streaming. Let's see. Huh. They must have used some Photoshop to make the rear derailleur look smaller in this photo. Because, I mean, the SRAM rear derailleur is about the same size as the crankset, right? Let's see. Locations. Oh, it says Chicago's booming West Loop, so maybe that was where the office is. Just a small little... Huh. Yeah, maybe that was it. That's surprising. But... Dylan. You out, Alejandro? See you later, man. Let me show you what I mean about just typing in Shimano and seeing what their website looks like. It's amazing. Corporate site. Yeah, here. Oh, this one has a video. That's not what I was seeing earlier. Oh, and it's showing. Huh. The internet likes to make a fool out of me. I mean, they already have the new Dura-Ace up there. So, bicycle components. All right, I think we're back. Will this not play, or what is this little thing? It's loading. I don't know, maybe we're having an internet bandwidth problem today. Let's try and reload this. It's loading and not working.
When you're racing at world championship level, equipment really does make a difference.
I have to turn that off because I could hear the audio blasting through there, so. Pudgy said, new Dura-Ace, available pros and 10K OEM spec in 2022. Normal people, 2047. Yeah. Yeah, it's only going to be coming on manufactured bikes for a while, for sure. I mean, like, from bike manufacturers. Oh, Pudgy's got his beer up here, which is the Endless Haze IPA. And then Rusty had said, uh-oh, as it looks like he poured another one. Is this a different 10% IPA? Oh, man. Getting crazy over there. See ya, Dylan. Have a good night. Rusty's getting turned. Yeah, one thing is if you look at like even Shimano's literature, with Dura-Ace, they're straight up saying this is for road racing. They're not even trying to market it as like some kind of like, you know, I run 105 on my gravel bike. They're not trying to say like, hey, you could run this anywhere. You should run this anywhere. They're like, this is for road racing. They've said they're like, we've talked to the pros and got their feedback on where they want their hands to sit, what they would like to see improved. I mean, this is the top of the line road racing group set in the world, and it's the most popular road racing group set in the world. Like, and Shimano is the biggest component manufacturer in the world. And so one thing to me is the reason it's important is because these technologies trickle down in different ways to the other group sets. Like, 105 11 speed that I have on my bike took a lot from the last iteration of Dura-Ace and Ultegra, right? So it improves the shifting, even though it's not going to be made with like stupid titanium screws and little things that only pro mechanics or pros who ride a bike hard but have someone to fix every little thing that breaks all the time, for them, kind of thing. But also the interesting thing, what I've heard about the new Dura-Ace and Ultegra so far is that some of the technology came from mountain biking, like the disc rotors, and I believe the spline for how the cassette interfaces. And then, the rotors came from mountain biking. Then they're saying there's something in the levers that came from GRX. But the fact that they can make this top of the line flagship thing, it's not what everyone needs. It's not what I don't think anyone who watches this channel will ever own. But this stuff will show up later in the stuff we're interested in. And also, how SRAM has kind of been ahead in the wireless and stuff like that. Having someone else push stuff like this at this level will just make SRAM has to they're going to buy these group sets, and I'm sure they have a whole office of people who just buy Shimano stuff and tear it apart and put it back together and see what they can do better. So I was thinking about that, like, why should you care about Dura-Ace or new Ultegra? Strictly wireless too, which is not, strictly wireless, but still has rim brakes apparently, is because it's going to, all this stuff will end up showing up in different ways in the stuff that we do care about, whether it's in SRAM or lower end Shimano, stuff like that. So one of the things that I, think of why it's important. Plus I like pro racing. So these are what the racers I'm watching are going to be on. And if there's gear malfunctions or if there's not gear malfunctions, like this is stuff that'll be talked about when I'm watching racing. So it's interesting to me in that way. And I watched one sponsored video, which was GCN's. So I really, what they say about the group set is, the fact stuff you can take, but you can't take their opinion seriously on GCN. They're in bed with Shimano. Like they say, the videos are sponsored and they're paid for. GP Llama does some more, his stuff's a little better when you really want to know what he thinks. Because when he was talking about the power meters, he was already saying he'll be interested to see because he's never liked Shimano power meters. Not something I'm concerned about, but just shows if you want to find credibility somewhere, there are other YouTubers who will get their hand on this stuff that aren't, completely paid for by Shimano. But yeah, the thing that was interesting is they were saying how the up and down shifting is now almost equal. Shimano is saying, which they said with the last group set, and Yonda's saying really pissed him off as a bike mechanic, that you could shift under load. So people were just basically messing up their group sets by shifting under load when they shouldn't be. But again, Shimano is saying with the new ones that you can be sprinting full on and shift gears, and it shouldn't have a problem with their new the way they've filed the teeth, their latest version of, what is it, Hyperglide 2.0 or whatever. But you guys. Pudgy was saying issue is their athletes use it in gravel and CX more than GRX. Yeah, but I could see that. But as a regular cross rider, would you use it over GRX anymore? Or only the pros again where, but they're, yeah, it's only 2x, there's no clutch. So Rusty said single speed. Huh. Broadford said he thinks the road stuff looks nicer than Shimano. I've never thought that. One, I don't like those. Like I always joke about those beefy rear derailleurs. Shimano has definitely increased their hood size, but those gigantic SRAM hoods I've never thought looked good. But I would say the general opinion is SRAM is better for off-road, Shimano is better for road. That's not a hard fact. I mean, people like what they like. Like I said, I'm a Canon guy because what I use, but it doesn't mean Sony and Nikon are shit. I totally prefer a PC, but I know that doesn't mean they're better than Max. It's a personal preference. Same with Shimano and SRAM. I know I would get used to SRAM if I rode it. When I jump on like a bike from the bike shop that's SRAM, I don't like it, but that's mostly because it's not what I'm used to. And why should I switch when I have, 6 bikes running Shimano? I have no reason to. Like, that's what I'm used to, so why? No reason. But Rusty, your boy is drunk. SRAM drop hoods look like Texas Longhorn. Pudgy said the new 12-speed Shimano mountain bike stuff is killer, and I think the road stuff is taking a lot. Well, I don't think. It's a fact the road stuff is taking a lot of that technology from there. So, Rusty thinks that SRAM is better for road and gravel group sets, and that SRAM and Shimano are more comparable in mountain biking stuff. I'm not disagreeing with you because I don't ride any modern mountain bikes, and I don't have GRX, which is Shimano's gravel group set. I'm riding Road 105 on my gravel bike, which I love, but again, yes, I can't compare it in high end road stuff. Like I don't have SRAM Red ETAP and Shimano Di2 Dura-Ace to compare to each other, but we could look up the percentages, but Shimano sells way more than SRAM on the road and sponsors way more professional pro teams, and more professional pro teams, more pro riders prefer Shimano, so. Broadford said he's mainly talking about the chain rings and cranks on the SRAM stuff. Yeah, and my favorite is I actually don't like really the look of any of the 11-speed group sets, even the 105 on my Rally. When I had the 9-speed on there, it looked way better. It had, like the Rally, even though it's not super vintage, has a vintage look. And the 9-speed group set looked so cool on there because it had the classic style chain rings. And I don't have the actual Shimano rings on here. Those are hanging on the wall over there. It's a different group set. But this bike did have the full Shimano group set. But again, a Neo Retro build. All my Neo Retro builds look so much better with 9-speed. I actually don't like any of the 11-speed cranks. I don't like Campies either. But again, looks at that like someone said, I like stuff that works. And that's how I want my gravel bike to be. It's my main bike. I just want it to work. So when I upgraded to 11-speed, I was a lot less concerned with the looks of it than the function of it. When I'm making one of my vintage Neo Retro builds, there you go, Pudgy, I finally said it. 9-speed Shimano is the perfect thing. One, now it's so affordable to even buy on eBay. it functions totally fine. It has great gear ratios, 9 speed is to me like all the silver bits just look best on vintage stuff, but all personal opinion. Some people think mountain bikes look cool. I don't think there's a single mountain bike that looks cool. I modern mountain bike. It doesn't mean I don't like them as bikes. They're designed solely for function. I don't think the looks of like any full squish mountain bike is cool. But it's exactly what you need to do what you want to ride. So, but oh, Pudgy, you said you got 12 speed on the new mountain bike and it's awesome. Nice. Rusty was asking if we saw any of the, sorry, stretching my legs while we talk. I've been standing for a while. Said, speaking of pro riders, did you see any of the track events in the Olympics? I watched a lot of the highlights. I didn't really watch much of it live, but I like watching track racing. Some of those events are so fun to watch. You know, some of them are so interesting. But like, yeah, team pursuit and all that kind of stuff, I get a kick out of. I'll make a command for that, Pudgy. But yeah, those dudes are nuts. Those and same thing. So when I'm talking about like Shimano, like caring about Dura-Ace, I find all this stuff interesting, even if I'm never going to own it. Like Great Britain's track bikes in the Olympics, where GCN did a whole documentary about them, and their GCN Plus did, and they're fascinating. Like I just thought it was such an interesting new idea, not newish idea in aerodynamics that kind of, as bikes have been getting skinnier and skinnier, and that's what, everyone was achieving how to make a bike that works with the rider and actually making it wider and almost making them work like aerofoils was super interesting. So to me, just a thing to nerd out about. I love bikes and I kind of like everything about bikes. So even the stuff that's not relevant to my life and bikes is interesting to me. So Rick said agreed, mountain bikes are utilitarian, period. Yeah. Did they broadcast that, Pudgy? So he said, did anyone watch Ashton break the world record? So that was the individual pursuit. He got under 4 minutes, which was kind of considered like the 4 minute mile back in the day, considered impossible. I didn't see that it was broadcast anywhere. World record. Now I read all about it, and I've still been reading about it and the kit and all that kind of stuff, but I did not see the actual footage. Yeah, Jay Dandy has a good point there on the mountain bike thing. What is prettier, a sports car or a pickup truck? Yeah. And again, someone said something about hardtail mountain bikes. So a vintage pickup truck might look cool, like a vintage specialized hard rock might look kind of cool. The modern ones have gotten so good that they don't look good anymore because they're so good at doing what they do. And road bikes only look good because they're, in my opinion, limited by the UCI rules of the double triangle. If you look at that old Panarello that they were using to break who was using that? Jan Ulrich to break the hour record, and then they started using it as a time trial bike, that crazy Panarello. I mean, it's cool in its own way, but it's not like, again, it's starting to get in that mountain bike territory where it's just weird. But so, yeah, I think the UCI, like having rules about the way bikes can look, kind of even keeps modern road bikes looking cool where they probably wouldn't if there weren't those rules. See, I'm trying to find where I am in the chat. Sorry. Rick doesn't like new road bikes either. See, I like some of them. It's not like they're not like dream bikes for me to own. I prefer some kind of 80s Calnago probably over any modern road bike. But I do think some of the Like that latest Panaracer, they just released the F in conjunction with this Shimano group set. I think it's cool. It looks neat, but Rusty said there are so many modern hardtail mountain bikes that are gorgeous. And I agree, hardtail in general do look better than like a full suspension mountain bike. I can't think of a single full suspension mountain bike that I think looks cool or maybe classy is the word, not cool. I don't know. Oh, Pudgy was saying that 4-minute world record, the Pursuit, was streamed. Wait, his girlfriend live streamed it through Zip's social media. Gotcha. No, I did not see it. Rusty said suspension is for sissies, so he agrees. And Pudgy says, I think it's just where you came up in bikes that dictates what looks good. Yeah. I guess. I mean, definitely. I mean, but it's still personal. I'm someone who only rode mountain bikes growing up. But I still think vintage road bikes look cooler than anything else. But that's a taste that developed over the last 5 years, so. But obviously, we're talking that I like vintage maps. I have a wall of vintage cameras in my modern photography studio. I do my work on an R5, but I don't think the Canon R5 looks cool. I think the Nikon F2 looks cool. But what would I rather use? The Canon R5. I'm glad I don't have to do my job with a Nikon F2. So same thing. If I want to do like gnarly mountain biking in Arizona or Colorado, I want that, full squish scalpel or whatever, If I'm going to hang something on the wall as a vintage bike, it's my dad's Motobacon. Even as a cheap bike, it looks way cooler than any modern mountain bike. Right? You're right, Jay Danny. I actually don't. Sissies is not a word that I say often anymore. I haven't thought about that. I don't say it, but I don't say it. I thought I saw some new photos in the Discord that maybe not. Oh, Rick was talking about the Albatross versus the Billy Bar here. Orlando was saying he likes his GT bikes. So same thing, yeah, those vintage GT bikes look rad. With the weren't those the ones that had like the triangle was a little overshot there? What were those models called? But here's like a modern one, I mean, it's got the throwback to the vintage ones, but do I think that looks cool? No. Would I want to ride that if I was doing something super gnarly? Yeah. That one actually kind of looks sweet. I hear my computer struggling, making sure I'm not frozen up here again. Yeah, what? So Rick was saying the term Nancy. Yeah, where does Nancy Boy just come from? The name Nancy? I've never known. Yeah, what? That's what I wanted to. I wanted to see that triple triangle GT too, Orlando. What model were those? I typed in vintage and it didn't work out. It didn't show them to me. Oh, yeah, here we go. Here's the 1990. Oh. Forget it. eBay. Stupid eBay listings. They show something old and then they don't actually let you click on it. Yeah, something more like this. Pudgy dropped a good model. Yeah. Even those, like I do think they look cool, but also in like a fact that they're unique way, you know. It'd be fun to do a neo retro build to a gravel bike conversion on one of these. What are they? Pudgy said the other one that caught my eye was the 98 GT LTS. Let's pull that up. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, those are nuts. I do like it in this chrome one the best. It's not the best photo, but that's crazy. That's got to be early. Is that pretty early rear suspension there? Look at all those moving parts. That has got to be a nightmare going forward, right? To deal with. How are you saying it's not? You're saying it's not that early for full suspension? Again, something I wouldn't know anything about really. When they started doing full suspension bikes. Oh, Orlando said that's what he's made it like, a gravel bike with 700s. Nice. Are you in the Discord, Orlando? Do you have any photos? If you could drop a photo of it, that'd be awesome. I'll pull it up here. Rick said he bought new tires for his folding truck. He said he's dreading putting them on Schwalbe Marathons on a 20-inch rim. Yeah, I wonder. I don't really know if the wheel size matters, though. It's all about just the tire and rim combination that I found. Oh, Orlando says he doesn't have any photos of it. You should definitely, next time you're out by it, take a cell phone photo and drop it in the Discord. We'll pull it up on Thursday. Yeah, these are what I just ended up picking up for my Trek 500. So, Large was saying he thought they had the Panaracer Evos, and they only had them in 26, so I ended up picking up some, well, these are folding, so I can't get it. See if I could. Pacellas, that's not going to focus, whatever. Panaracer Pacella 32s. I have the kind with wire beads and tan walls on my Peugeot, and I've liked them on that bike, so kind of went with a classic. Not quite as expensive. They had some Rene Herse and 32s, but for my Trek 500, I kind of wanted something that still has a little bit of flat protection, but they're still pretty light and flat, so we'll see how they feel on that bike. But yeah, that's a bike that I sometimes ride loaded, sometimes ride fast. So something like a classic middle-of-the-road tire like the Panaracer Pacella seemed like a good choice. $50 a piece, so not the cheapest. I feel like the ones I put on the Peugeot, the wire-beaded ones, were cheaper than that. But I felt like putting that, I was thinking I'd put those on in the stream tonight. And once I took the Trek off the stand to put my Schwinn over here for the thumbnail, I just did not get the effort back to get all that set up in time. But Pudgy said he'd still pay big money for the GT to hang on the wall. Yeah, some of those, even those color schemes are crazy. Oh, look at that. What is that? What is that group set with that crazy chain ring? Can I zoom in any more on this? Oh, yeah. Someone actually took a quality photo. God, look at that seat post. AC crankset. Huh. Oh, yeah, it's written right on there, actually. That's pretty cool looking, huh? Large Marge's comment said he'd pay not to look at those things. Nice. Blackwall said it burns his eyes. Malk said, here's a GT for you, Pudgy. I like, what? Oh, I'm clicking on. That looks sweet. What do you think, Large? That one looks sweet. Is that a Sun Tour crank? So is that like, that's a full respray and everything, I'm guessing? Put the brakes on upside down. I know. Oh, that's a Sugino crank set, right? Or however you say that. Sugino. Large says he's into it, not that stem though. Oh yeah, I've got the stem cut off here on the... Oh, there's no cables run. That's why I was looking at the brakes hanging like that. There's no cables on this bike yet. I don't mind the stem on that because the silver kind of goes with the silver rims and the silver cranks and all that, silver chain rings. But it could look cool with like a more classic... could look even cooler with more of a classic stem. Just when you think Large is passed out, you show a gaudy bike pic. Well, guys, what time is it? 10:55? I think it's about time to wrap it up. I do have a photo shoot at 9 a.m., which is not super early, and it's just downtown Akron, but still do want to be, yeah, not completely wasted and hungover for it. So, Rusty said time to shotgun some beers. Yeah, sorry to the Arizona guys when it's getting late for me. I know it's not getting late for you guys, but yeah. Oh, Large says he does love him a good GT track bike build, though. Yeah. Nice. Who's... Oh, Large, I forgot to tell you. I was talking to... At the Akron Pride Festival, I was talking to Rudy, and she had her new vintage Nishiki build. And I was like, has Large seen this yet? And she was like, no. I'm like, oh, this is a guy who's got Japanese bikes stuffed in every place he's ever lived at. So I was like, you have to show him this bike eventually. But, yeah. Yeah, it was a Nishiki. Yeah, it was a cool bike. I got a photo of her standing next to it. She was manning a booth for one of the organizations there in Cascade Plaza. Rudy, for those of you who don't know, Large knows, works at the bike shop sometimes when they need extra help and is a friend of ours. So, and is now running the, how do you say it, RAR? Do you say RAR? Chapter in Northeast Ohio. RAR bikes, RAR bikes, whatever. Yeah. Anywho, that just hit me and I had to say it. And, oh yeah, so... Working on a video about this guy, so this will be the next thing I post. Might try to get it up for Thursday morning. You don't want to focus. Hasn't even been out of the box yet. So, started shooting a why I got it type video today. And then, I do plan to stream on Thursday, but I'll let you know if something comes up. Weather's looking decent. Just depends if I end up riding late. But, put that up in the morning. Alright, guys. So... yeah, at least something will be up on Thursday.
Okay, bye.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
this time.
Fitzwater photo.